So why is it that other car dealers don't sell stuff for under $5,000? Well, it's hard. So how did I know that my niche was going to be this $5,000 and under range? Well, in the beginning, I didn't. I went to car auctions with my grandfather. In fact, the first car that I ever bought to resell was a 2008 Chrysler Sebring. And this was 13 years ago, and I paid $5,000 for that car. Now, 13 years ago, $5,000 was that like mid-tier range. So I wasn't trying to buy cheap cars. I was trying to buy this nice, it's funny to say it, but this nice 2008 Chrysler Sebring to sell. So I had this nice Chrysler Sebring for about 2 months, and I couldn't even get anybody to look at it. And I even washed it multiple times. I think I had to fix something on it, but it ended up being that I had $5,500 in this car. So I asked one of my grandfather's car dealer buddies to say, okay, look, I've got $5,500 in this car. I just want to get rid of it. Will you pay me $5,000 for it? And he bought it. So my very first car that I ever bought to flip was a loss of $500. And I can tell you, that was the greatest lesson that I could ever get in the car industry. So the next car that I bought, I went the complete opposite way. I bought a 1998 Mercury Mountaineer, and I paid $800 for this car. And ended up getting it ready, and it didn't need anything. Just cleaned it up and posted it literally the next day. I sold it for $1,800, and then it clicked, right? This is what people need. They don't need $5,000 Chrysler Sebrings. What they need is they need cheap, affordable transportation. I figured this out 13 years ago. And we can fast forward 13 years till today, and that statement reigns true, maybe even more so today than it did 13 years ago. People need cheap, affordable transportation, and that's what I want to provide. That's my mission, is to be able to help people. And if I can offer this kind of product to my customer, I can help them out, because there's no other dealers that are doing this. You can't find it anywhere else. They don't have to take out debt on these cars. They can own these cars outright. And in the process, I can make money too. That's a dream come true for me. That's exactly what I want to do. So why do car dealers like me not exist? I see it in my comments all the time. Well, I wish you were closer to me. There's no other dealers doing this. Well, one big reason is because it's hard to do. It's so hard to go to all these auctions and be able to source these cars that I have to sell for under $5,000. And this has been the hardest time in history to be able to do this. Now, it was easy back 13 years ago, where I could buy cars all day long that were $800, $1,000, $1,500 and be able to sell them, make $1,000, roll them and do it quick. But now the $800 car at auction, it almost doesn't exist. Like, a car has to fall through the cracks for me to be able to find a car that I can sell for about $2,000. It's very, very rare now. That sweet spot, which used to be $2,000, and then 5-6 years ago it was $2,500, and then it moved up by $3,000. Now my sweet spot is about $3,500. So just in the last 5 or 6 years, that sweet spot for me has gone up about $1,500. Another big reason why you won't find a lot of car dealers doing the same thing that I do is just because of pure greed, right? Now, when we sell our cars, we typically make $1,000, $1,500, somewhere around that range. I think our overall average is somewhere around $1,200. But most car dealers, they don't want to make just $1,200 on a car. They want to make $2,500. They want to make $3,000 on a car before they even want to be in business for it, right? And what we do is just, we have to do volume, because I actually did this math one time to break it out to see exactly how much I put in my pocket when we sell a car and make about $1,200 on it, and it was $431. That's what I'm actually making on each and every one of these cars that I'm selling right around my average. Must be locked.
Yeah.
And probably the biggest reason why you won't find other car dealers like myself is just because they can't sell cars for that $5,000 and under range. See, when I'm going and buying a car at the auction, if I buy one, say for $2,000, that car, I think it's a $3,000, it's a $3,500 car. And that's just about as much as a consumer is willing to pay for it. Because it's going to have higher mileage, it's going to have some cosmetic damage, it's going to have some kind of issue with it when you're looking at a car that you're selling for $3,500. But another dealer, if they buy that same car for $2,000, they're not going to be able to survive if they're only making $1,000, $1,500. Remember, I do volume. We sell a lot of cars. We sell more cars than a lot of franchise dealers do. It might not look like it on my small lot, but we do. We move a lot of vehicles. And if a dealer is not doing volume like I'm doing, then they can't survive off only making $1,200 a car. And you got to keep in mind, a lot of car dealers, they don't buy cars, they don't pay cash for their cars, they don't own their cars outright, they finance them. So you have another layer of expense that I'm not paying that other car dealers have to pay, and that's their floor plan costs, their interests that they have to pay when they don't sell cars. And on top of that, even if they would sell the car immediately, they still have a fee to be able to borrow that money to buy their cars. All of this is going to add on to what it costs them to have that car on their lot, meaning that they have to charge more to be able to make what they want to make on the car. All right, so these things right here, this is one of the coolest things about my shop. See, my grandfather owned a bowling alley about 50 years ago, and these seats were in it. So before I was even born, he actually sold that bowling alley. But when the current owner of it now remodeled the bowling alley, he actually offered a few of these seats to me where I could buy them. So bought them, put them in our car lot, and now a piece of my family's business legacy is something that I actually get to keep and display here in my shop. And another big benefit that we have is that I have a mechanic on staff. So a lot of these fixes that will nickel and dime a lot of dealerships where they have to add it on to the price of the car, I handle a lot of that stuff here at my shop. We have a mechanic on staff. His name's Alex. He's great, and he even goes to these auctions for me to buy a lot of the cars. So when he's going to look at these cars, he can find deals because he can see what's wrong with the car right there at auction. He knows how much it's going to cost him to fix it. He knows how much time it's going to cost him to actually fix the car. So he can do all that math in real time when he's going and bidding on these cars at auction. And it makes it to where we can get a lot of good deals because he just knows what has to happen to the car before he even buys it. All right, so this is the embarrassing part of the shop. This is where all parts that we'll probably never use just come to absolutely die. They just gather in this one small closet, and you know what? I'm surprised I can even walk in here. Well, you know what? I really can't. This is as far as I can walk. So I can go from here to here. There you go. All right, so now where do these cars come from? Where do I buy these cars at? So 99% of the cars I buy are auction cars. And there's a few different types of cars that you run into at auction. There's repossessed cars, there's trade-ins, there's fleet returns. You'll have vehicles that cities will send to auction, like old police cars, stuff like that. But a majority of the cars that we like to buy are new car dealer trade-ins. And I just tell you exactly where those come from. So whenever you go to buy a brand new Camry at a Toyota dealership and you're trading in your 2005 Toyota Camry that's got 175,000 miles, that new car dealer, they don't want to have that car sitting on their lot next to all their really nice, their low mileage cars. So what they do is they send it straight to auction, and that's where a used car dealer like myself will go buy it. I like buying trade-ins more than any other car because it doesn't necessarily mean that there's a problem with the car. It just means that customer, that consumer that wanted that new car, they're just trading in their old car to upgrade to the next car. All right, so I'll show you one more thing. So I got an employee one time that was duped by just a traveling salesman, I guess you used to call him, but some dude that just came around in a white van with no windows, but sold a bunch of this stuff. Promise, okay, put this in transmission. Those slips, no, they go right away. Put this stuff right here in your radiator, no longer leaks. Guess what? All this snake oil stuff doesn't work. All right, so now let's go through the whole process of what I do from cars being at auction to actually getting here at my lot to be sold. So we'll head into the auction. There'll be a bunch of cars out in the parking lot. We'll check them out. We have a code reader, a scanner that will actually hook up. It's like a computer that reads the car, lets us know if there's anything that's wrong with the car. But we'll do that, either myself or Alex will be out there in the auction lot, finding out what we want to buy. We'll write ourselves down a little list of cars we want to bid on. Then the auction will start. We'll go into the lanes. I'm sure you've seen a lot of videos that I put out where, okay, the auctioneer's yelling crazy words all over the place.
Number 11, 11, 11, 12, number 12, number 13, number 14, number 15, number 16, 17, 17, number 18, number 18, number 18, number 19, number 19, now 2 grand, new down on 10, number 2, 19, now 10, number 10, now 1, 21, 2, 21, now 10, number 10, number 2, number 23, 4, 23, now 4, now 5, number 25, now 6, 26, number 7, 9, number 8, number 8, 8, number 9, number 29, 3 grand, 3 down, now 1, 31, now 10, number 10, number 10, number 10, number 30. And
you'll have dealers sitting in the lane where they're raising their hand or shaking their head to say, yeah, I'll bid on, bid on. So we'll bid on the car, we'll win the bid, be the highest bidder, pay for the car, and then from that point, we'll get the car transported. We have a couple auctions that are close to us within about 15 minutes or so. My staff will go and pick up those cars and transport them here. If it's a close auction, we have a couple auctions we go to about an hour or more away. And in those situations, we pay a transporter, someone that we contract out to go pick up our cars. That can run us anywhere from $50 all the way up to, depending on how far the auction is away, like $150, and all that goes onto the cost of the car. Next, when the car actually gets here to our lot, Alex will drive it. He'll go through it, make sure there's nothing that needs to be fixed. A lot of times with these cars that are under $5,000, we got to fix something. So usually he'll have some little part he'll have to order and put the car together, make sure it's safe, everything's good. We'll drive it around again after it's been fixed, and then we'll get it inspected. So I'm a car dealer here in North Carolina, and here we have to get our cars inspected before we can sell them to a consumer. So those cars need to be inspected at a shop that's not here on our location. And then after that, we'll get the cars cleaned up. For cleanup, what we do is we outsource that too. So we have a company that comes in. They're a mobile detail company. They'll come in and we'll get them 10 to 20 cars in one day. And they'll knock them all out in one day, and it costs us usually around 40 to 45 bucks per car to do that. Keep in mind, these are $5,000 and under cars. Our consumer doesn't need them to be perfect, so we don't spend a $200 detail job. We try to keep our cars as little money as we can put in them as possible, because that means we can sell them as cheaply as possible, and that's what we try to do. After they're detailed, take pictures of them and put them on our website, and then magically people show up and they buy them. And one thing that we do that a lot of other dealers don't do is that we literally put on our cars what we're going to take for the car. We don't have any add-ons, any fees. We don't even have a dock fee. That's so rare to find from a dealer. Most dealers, I would say probably 98% of car dealers out there are going to have a dock fee. This is just a fee that they say that they're charging you to fill out the paperwork. I feel like that should be included in the car. So when you come up onto my lot, this car right here is $4,500. So you're going to go inside. The only money that I get off of this car is $4,500. Now there'll be taxes, registration, stuff like that. All the money, that money goes to North Carolina. But as far as what you're paying me for the car, it's $4,500. So when a customer comes in, their out the door price is going to be something like $46.75 or whatever. It's going to be $175 that goes to North Carolina for their taxes, tag, registration, all that stuff. And then the only money that we get is literally what we're posting the car for. We post it online for that price. We put stickers on our cars. You can see it, sticker right there, $4,500. That's what I'm getting for the car. It's very rare to see that from a car dealer. And I feel like we gain a lot of business. One, just because we put our freaking prices on the car, right? But two is because, okay, what you see is what you get with us. And that's another big frustration I have with the car market is transparency. It's not there. And I really want to change that about the car market. But just the fact that we put prices on, we have customers that come in and thank us. They're not even trying to buy a car. They just come in and thank us for actually putting our prices on our car. That's ridiculous that someone feels the need to come into a car dealership and thank them for posting the right prices on the cars. It's very rare for you to go to a used car dealership and they have any numbers on the cars because they want you to come inside. They want you to talk to them, so they can try to woo you into this car. And it's not something I'm interested in. If you want the car, you can buy it. It's a $4,500 car. That's it. You don't have to talk to anybody. You don't have to come see my face. You don't have to see any of my sales staff face. You literally walk up on the lot and what you see is what you get. It's very, very, very important to me. All right, so what's your favorite part about this job?
I really enjoyed auction days. Working on cars is like a big puzzle. The people that work here, I love them as well. I like everything.
And the way that I do business is not the way that you're really going to find business done across the car market. I don't care if you're looking at a used car dealer, a new car dealer, even Tesla. You pull up Tesla's pricing on their website and you have to do a little click down to say, okay, take off the gas savings that you're going to get. Yeah, just do that. Go on Tesla's website and you won't see the real price for the car. You have to do a couple clicks to actually see what the cash price of the vehicle is. This model right here doesn't exist in the car market, and it's why people hate dealers so much. And for that reason, I feel like we've done so well over the last 13 years. We've grown so much over the last 13 years because we're a place where consumers can get transparency. We've sold multiple families, 10, 15 cars, just because we're their car spot, because they don't want to go to another dealership where they're going to get ran around, they're going to get add-ons, they're going to get fees, they're going to get dock fees, they're going to get lied to. And I feel like that's like the biggest reason that we've been able to grow here at my car. Keep in mind, I've never borrowed money this whole time. I've been able to do it organically. And really that's a big reason why we've exploded on YouTube also. It's just transparency. It doesn't exist. And that's something I want to change. So make sure you subscribe. If you're not, we got some big changes, some big projects coming up, and I just want to thank you guys from the bottom of my heart for watching this video and watching all our videos. And just again, thank you. Before I get emotional, I'm gonna go ahead and turn this off.